Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be diving deeper into the construction ability so you can get a better feel for how it works and make your building experience a lot easier. So let's get into it. So how you can get access to the construction ability. You unlock the construction ability when you gain access to the housing system after speaking to Posey and crafting the 3-star outfit Flawless Vision. The ability outfit allows Nikki to build and edit the home island. So when you first get the construction ability, we do start off at level 1. So level 1 allows you to batch place furniture items, and then you get the yardling update, which means that you can purchase new furniture sketches from the shop. As you level up, you are going to unlock more features for when you're constructing your island. For example, level 2 gives you the first ability fusion. It allows you to do floating construction, decor catalog. Level 3 does clipping construction. Level 4 is another ability fusion and multi-select grouping. Level 5 is free rotate. Level 6 is free resize. Level 7 is another yardling update. 8 decor catalog, 9 yardling update, and so on. So it's very important that if you are looking to build your island or your home, that you do have these unlocked. Obviously, do it at your own pace. Don't rush yourself. I mean, you always have the ability to unlock this later if you are working on another ability. But if you are missing one of the settings that we talk about, it could be the fact that you have not yet unlocked it. So now I'm going to get into the construction building UI. So first thing that you're going to see is the load. This is the total amount you can have on your island. So if you click the eye here, it says each piece of furniture placed will count towards the total load value. You cannot place furniture beyond the total load limit of the home. The total load value of the home can be increased by upgrading building capacity. When placing more than one of the same furniture, the load value of the second and subsequent piece will be halved. Brush type and set type furniture load values are calculated based on the actual number of furniture pieces used. The total value of locked areas will also be included in the current load value displayed. So that is what you're seeing here. See, this is how much I have used, and this is how much I can still use to place items on my island. So now I'm going to go over your schemes. So this is what the icon is here. It looks like a piece of paper with a grid on it. You're going to click on it, or if you're using a different system, use the appropriate button to open up your schemes. And you're going to see island schemes and combination schemes. So first I'm going to go over island schemes. And what they are, they're basically blueprints or layouts for your home island. Instead of building everything from scratch each time, the scheme saves the design, the furniture placement, and overall the setup of your home. You can use them quickly to swap between different islands. And so if you have a cottage theme look, or if you have like a fairy and you want to quickly go between each one, you're going to use your schemes to do so. Or let's say you don't want to work on your house anymore, you want to start a new build. This is an easy way so that you don't lose that house setup. You can save it and then go back to it later once you've finished working on your new design. So I'm going to show you how you can save your house. So let's say I have this house here and I want to start working on something different. So I'm going to go to my schemes and I'm going to save it. So I already have 2 tests here. You can either save it in a new slot, or you can overwrite it. So I'm going to go ahead and save it in a new slot. I'm going to press save, and it's going to say save the current construction scheme to the slot. So confirm. And perfect. So that has already been saved. Now you have the option to change the name. So I'm going to go ahead and be like test. So I'm going to press confirm. And then you could also add a picture so you know exactly what it is that you have saved. So go ahead and take a picture of it. And there. Oh, perfect. So set as cover. And there you are. So now when you're going through, you know what these saves are easily. I know the name helps as well, but seeing the picture really helps you know exactly what you have saved in this spot. You do have the option of deleting it, of course, and you can share it with your friends. So how you're going to share it is you're going to select this button here that looks like 3 dots with 2 lines, and press that, and you can generate a scheme code. You are only able to generate 10 a day, just to keep in mind. So we're going to generate the scheme code. And perfect. So this is our scheme code. So you're going to see on here, there's your name, UID, and server, Infinity Nikki, the name of it, island scheme, the scheme code. And keep in mind, when you are sharing your codes with other users, you can only use codes that are from your server. So America to America, Asia to Asia, EU to EU. At the moment of recording this, we are not able to use other servers' codes. So if I have a friend in Asia, unfortunately, I cannot import their code, and then they can't import mine. This might change in the future, but as of right now, this is how we have it set up. And then you have your scheme code. So this is what they're going to use to import your scheme, and they can either save it or use it. So I'm going to show you how you can save. So you just press the copy, and perfect. So I'm going to show you how you can import it. So I'm going to go ahead and clear everything. And let's say I'm like, oh no, I really want to use this scheme. So you're going to go to the top here in your scheme menu and press import scheme code. You're going to enter the code, press apply, and then you see all the details here, and you can either use now or you can save it. So I'm going to go ahead and use it now. It's going to let you know that there are some unsaved changes. You can continue, and then it's going to let you know some areas have not obtained expansion permission, import only part of the scheme. Sure. And then it's just letting you know if there are any unharvested crops, fish, or animals, they will be cleared, which is fine. We don't have any, or we did have some of that, but it's okay. And there we go. As you see here, now we have our house back. And that is how you use the island schemes. All right, so now I'm going to get into the combinations. What combinations are is if you have, let's say, for example, I have this entrance of a house, right? I really like it, and it took me a while to build, and I would most likely want to use it over and over again, right? So what combinations allows you to do is to actually save this whole thing so that you can use it later. And I will show you how to do that. So you're going to have to go into the building mode and then go up to the pieces that you want to save, and you are going to multi-select them. So you're going to see at the side here, multi-select, and you're going to go ahead and copy each piece that you want to save. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And you can see as I'm highlighting it, I'm copying it. So copy, copy. I want to make sure I'm getting every piece. We'll even throw this bush in there. Sure. Make sure I have this added. And I think the window is selected. It's hard to tell if the window is selected or not, but I think it is. So now that you see the yellow outline for everything, that's how you know that it's selected. If you didn't see the yellow outline, so I'll go back over here and I will unselect it. You see that the flowers no longer have that line here. I'll even show it with this here. If it will let me. There you go. So now you see that this wall doesn't have it. And then now you see the wall does have it, that I've selected it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go, now that everything is selected, I'm going to press edit and see I picked up the whole thing. So now you have this option here to save as a scheme. So I'm going to press H. I'm going to go here. I'm going to save. So you can save the current construction scheme to the slot. Press confirm. I'm going to be like I'm going to name it house, confirm. Then you can add a picture so you know exactly what it is. So it's just this entrance to the house. I'm just going to save the entrance. Save as cover. Perfect. And now you have saved it. So now that you have it saved, how do you use it? Well, let's go over here. And perfect. So let's say I'm starting a brand new build and I really want to use that house entrance. I'm going to go to my combination schemes. I'm going to press house and then I'm going to press use scheme. It's going to say template loaded. And there we are. And you can do this as many times as you would like. So if I want to say use it again, and there we are. Keep in mind, when you are using it, you are going to need the pieces. Let's say you try saving and you don't have all of the pieces, right? The system is going to tell you that you do not have them. So you have to make sure that you do have them, or either, you know, be willing to buy them, or just save it as a scheme and then you can work on it later once you have maybe a bit more astrolites. So I'll just show you here. It's going to tell you that you don't have enough. So it's going to tell you here, if you go to problem decoration, it's going to say you don't have these items. You can either claim all, or you can save it just as a scheme, or you can just not save and move on. But yeah, that is how you use the combinations. And with combinations, just before we move past this, you can use other styluses combinations as well. So you can import them just the same as you would import the island schemes. So you can go ahead, let's say you see somebody's backyard, they made a really beautiful backyard and they saved it as a combination scheme. You can actually use it by importing the scheme here. One other thing just to mention is that when you are selecting, there is a limit to how many items you can select. It's about, from my understanding, about like 20 or so. So you're not going to be able to save a full house as a scheme. At that point, if you're saving the house, I would just save it as an island scheme. So island schemes are more for if you have a massive building. The combinations are more for if you have like a small area that you don't want to have to redo over and over again, but you like using it often. So then we have this icon here. So this is for clear all and recover from stuck. So basically it's exactly what it sounds like. When you clear all, it says if there are any unharvested crops, fish, or animals on the island, selecting continue will clear all the products and send the animals away. To avoid losses, you may cancel and handle them first before proceeding. If you're okay with this, press continue. And as you see, it cleared our whole island. And then from recover from unstuck, or recover from stuck, basically if you're building and let's say you're stuck under something like a piece of terrain, you can just press recover from stuck. It says escaping from a stuck state will exit construction mode and return you to a safe area. Current construction progress will be saved locally and restored the next time you enter construction mode. So we can go ahead and press continue. And as you see here, it brought us right back to the front of our island. And then all of our stuff over there is still there for us to continue to work on it. All right, so now we're going to get into the advanced settings that can really help you when building. There is no one set setting. I find that when building, I will switch between them depending on what I'm looking for. But to get to the advanced settings, you're going to go to this cogwheel here and you're going to see advanced settings. So there, first of all, are two different tabs. There's furniture and there's structure. So these tabs are basically for furniture. These are the settings that you can customize, and then for structures you can customize the settings here. So for furniture, this is going to be things such as your decorations, your plants, your hills, rocks, anything that can be considered furniture will be affected under these settings. And then For structures, you're going to be looking at walls, doors, windows, foundations, fences, and roofs. So this will all be under these settings here. First, we're going to look into allow floating. So floating is basically if you want the object that you are placing to be able to like be in the sky. So I'll show you an example. So let's say you're placing a bed, right? Well, floating will allow you to place the bed up here. If you didn't have floating on, so let's turn this off. So if we want to place another bed, you're not going to be able, you're going to see that there's a red outline on the bed. You're not going to be able to place the bed in the sky or have it floating. You're going to only be able to place it on the ground, as you see here. So this is with floating, which is really good when you're placing objects, things, or if you want to make something like in the sky or a tree house or something like that, you can place your objects up there. But if you are wanting it just to be like on the ground, then you're going to not use floating. So floating, not floating. Next, we have collision settings. So you unlock collision settings at level 3 construction ability. Collisions are important for placing objects on top of each other without them floating. So no collisions means that you can place them inside anything. For example, so let's say I have this table. I can go ahead and put it inside the bed. Or if I have another desk, I can put it inside this here. So as you see, they are colliding inside of each other. And so when you have no collisions on, that means you can do it inside the ground. So I can go ahead and put this desk inside, like half in the ground, half not in the ground. I can put it half in the ground, half in the bed. You can really do anything. It lets you kind of like turn, it really is, it lets you do like anything with the item. It allows you to clip it through literally whatever you would like it to be clipped through. And then the next one would be ground collisions only. So when you try to place an object with ground collisions only, that means that I can still clip it through the bed, but I can't put it through the ground. So see how I'm trying to put the table in the ground? The system will not allow you to, but I can still put it through like the bed. I can still put it through, like I can make this crazy area here, right? But I will not be able to put it in the ground at all. And then our last one is going to be all collisions. So that means that when I'm trying to put an item through something, it won't let me. So as you see here, it has a red area around it. It's because it's trying to clip through this bookshelf. But see, now that it's not colliding through, I can go ahead and place it on top. Same with the ground. It won't let you put it through the ground. It won't let you put it through anything else. So you basically can't clip at all. One thing to mention, so let's say you have a landscape, right? So I have a landscape here. So let's say I am using ground collisions only. That means the landscape is not considered a ground. It's considered an object. So if I try to place a table, I'm going to be able to put the table through the landscape because it's not considered the ground. But if I try to place it like through the ground, it's not going to work. So I can still have this clipping. If you don't want it to go through your landscape, let's say you have a landscape here and you want it to sit on top, you're going to want to select all collisions, because then when you try to place a table, you're not going to be able to place it through the landscape at all, since it says that it can't go through it. So just once more, no collisions means that I can clip it through basically anything, the ground, furniture pieces, anything I want, I can clip this object through. Ground only means I can clip it through anything except for the world's ground. So I can clip it through this, but I cannot clip it through the ground. And then the last one is all collisions, means that I can't clip it through anything. So I can't clip it through here. I can't clip it through the ground. I can't clip it through this desk I have over here. It won't let me. It can only be placed as its like own object without touching anything else. Now we're going to get into single move distance. So for single move distance, this is how far the item moves when you budget. So I'll show you. So now we're currently on 1. So if we were to place, let's say, a table, and then I'm going to copy and place another table, and copy and place another table. So this is how we can move the item. And then let's say we moved it up to 50. So then we're going to copy, and then you're going to see here, see the difference of how you're able to place it. So now we can place it like that and like this, and that is the distance. And then if we want to move it up once more, there's 100. So let's say I'm going to copy this, place this one on the ground, place another one, and you can see the distance of which you can move it. So it's kind of like its own grid, if you see here. So if we try to place it like right next to each other, we can't do that. And then we also have 200 as well. So if we try to place another table, as you can see, it's jumping around. And if we copy it, that up there, that, and this. So when you're using the single movement distance, you're going to use 1 if you want kind of a more precise movement, and you're going to use 50 to 200 depending on if you want like a bigger step or a bigger movement. So I'll show you again if we're gonna look. So this is 1, and it's very smooth. You can kind of just like place them however you would like. But then if we move it up to, let's say, 200, then we're looking at larger jumps, kind of like a grid. And then if we like place one like on top, see, it's not as fine, and it makes kind of more like a grid, if you see here. So I'll show once more. So if we go back into the settings and we go into single move distance, if we go back to 1, we'll try to place another table. So 1, you can place it like basically just like however you would like. You have a lot of freedom in your movements. And this is good if you're wanting to like place things on top of each other. It just gives you a lot of freedom in what you're doing. And then again, if you place it, let's say 100, as you see here, you don't have as much freedom in your movements. And it's good for like if you're placing like walls and stuff. So like see here how there's like the distance between them. And then if we go back to 200, then you're going to notice an even bigger jump. So, oh, that's not a good example. One second. Then you're going to notice an even bigger jump. So like so. Like that and that. So this is 1. This is, I believe it was 50 or 100, one of them, and this is 200. So see the differences between the spacing between them. So this is more precise, and this doesn't give you as much control. Next, we moved into single rotation distance. So for this, it's how you can turn the object. So we have either 1, 15, 45, or 90 degrees. So 1 gives you more control of how you can rotate the object. For example, we will use this desk. So you can rotate it, as you see here, pretty smoothly with no problems. If you change it to 15, then it's going to be at 15 degrees. So if you see here, it's less smooth. And then if we move it to 45, so it's going to be at 45-degree angles. So if you see here, and then the last one is going to be 90-degree angles. So as you rotate, as you see, is just rotating at 90 degrees each time. This is good for if you're, again, building, if you want a more precise angle, so you don't have to sit there and, you know, line it up. This makes it a lot easier, especially when placing walls, for example. So if I place a wall, I can easily rotate it. Yeah. That's basically how the rotations work for the single rotation distance. And then we move into axis rotation. So you can either toggle this on or off, and this is only for furniture items. So if you have it on, and then let's say you have a bed that you just want to rotate, so you can go ahead and press on the computer, it's control, but hold control and you're going to see the axis come up. So this shows you the different ways you can rotate that object. So for example, if I select this way, the bed's going to rotate this way. If I select this one, it goes around like this. This one kind of goes to the side, and then there we are. So, and then also if you don't like the movement, like how it's doing the 90 degrees, that can simply just be changed by changing the single rotation distance. So you can switch it to like 1, for example. Go ahead and then you can slowly rotate. So it's a more smooth, and you can kind of control how the item is rotating. So next we have the 3-axis scaling. So this is unlocked at level 6 for the construction ability. So basically, if you have it on, it is for the furniture items only. So you're going to press confirm, and how you're going to use it is you're going to select the item, and then you are going to press the E button if you're on the PC to make it larger, and then to make it smaller you're going to press the Q button. So again, E and Q. And then if you are on PS5, you're going to press L2 plus move R left to scale down, and then L2 plus move R right to scale up. I'm not on PS5, so I don't have an example, but for PC, you're going to press the E button to scale it upwards and the Q button to scale down. And you could do that with like a table. So E to scale up, Q to scale down, and then same with like bushes. So this one's already large. I can scale it down to make it smaller. So this is only for the furniture items. So like I had mentioned earlier, it's going to be like plants, hills, rocks, anything that can be considered furniture. But it's not going to be for the structures, because if we see it in our settings, it's only under the furniture setting. We unfortunately do not have it under the structure setting, as you see here. But for furniture, you can also do things such as let's see here, if you want like a couch to be maybe a bit smaller or bigger, so bigger, smaller, Momo sized, or bigger sized, which is really fun. Or you can do even like, let's say, you can even do like this plant here. So you place the plant down, you can make it larger, or you can make it smaller. And then if you make it really small, look how small that is. It's a little tiny thing that's there. So now we have placement range. So this basically is how close an item that you're holding is from Nikki. So we have 3 different settings. We have close, we have mid, and we have far. And this setting is in both the structures and the furniture, so you can use it for both of them. And so let's say that we start off with close, and you're going to place this flower basket. So if you see here, it is really close to Nikki when you're placing it. Whereas if we do, if we do mid and we go and place the flower basket, it's going to be further away from Nikki, as you see here. And then if we go and do far, which is the furthest away it can possibly be, you see here, now you can place items even further away from Nikki. So if you see here, this is close, mid, far. And then you could do the same thing for the structures as well. So there's the 3 placements, close, mid, and far. So the same thing, if you go and place, let's say, a wall. So I have a wall here. It's really close up to Nikki, as you see here. And then let's say I change it to mid and I go and place another wall. As you see here, it's further away from Nikki. And then the same thing if I go and I do far and then I go and place another wall, it's the furthest away from Nikki that it can possibly be. So it just gives you more distance. So remember, close, mid, far. So next we have rotate together, and this is both in the furniture and structures as well. So if you have rotate together on, it will rotate with Nikki. So on will rotate the objects relative to Nikki's movement. Off will leave the objects in the same rotation regardless of movement. So for example, let's go ahead and place, let's say this bed. You can rotate it. So if you see here, as Nikki is moving, the bed is also rotating, right? But if we, let's say, turn it off, and then we go and place a bed, no matter how Nikki moves, that bed is going to stay in the same space. So see how it's not moving with us? Whereas when we had it on, when Nikki moved, so did the bed. As you see here. So like, see how the bed's following us compared to before. Just one more. I'll show you guys once more. So, and then as we move, the bed is staying in the same spot. And that is basically the rotating together. And then we have the snapping tool. So the snapping tool is only available for structures. So that's going to be like your floors, your walls, and your roofs. So when you have it on, that means that the objects are able to snap together in place instead of you having to try to match them up yourself. So I'll give an example here. Like I have walls that I want to place. So I'm going to place this, I'm going to copy, and then as you see here, the wall will snap together. So see how it snapped there? I pick it up, there we go. And it makes it more like seamless. You can still rotate it, but it connects the two. So you don't have to sit there and try to like figure out how to snap them together. If you don't have it on, I'll show you what it looks like. So if you have it off, and let's say I have this here, it's not going to snap into place, and I'm going to be able to clip it through, and like trying to figure out how to like place it makes it a lot more difficult. Like as you see here, it's like not really connected very well. You're able to put it through, like it makes it really difficult. I would say I would use without the snapping tool if I'm trying to make like a circle so it doesn't snap together and it can make like a round area. Whereas like if you had the snapping on, it can be a little bit more difficult to make like a curved edge, like kind of like this. It's because it's going to try snapping here and you're going to have that space in between. And then also here is an example with the floors. So let's say you want to place this down, and then the snapping easily helps you place the floor items. So it's easier for you to place them. And then again, I'll show you without it on. So we'll turn it off. And then as you see here, you're easily able to clip through. Because the snapping is not enabled on it. So lining them up will be a lot more difficult if you're trying to make like an even floor. All right, so next on the UI is this menu here, which is the three dots. If you click on it, it's going to show you the items that are placed on your island. So as you see here, you can see all of the items that are on there, and then also the different weights for them. You can easily see this is just all of them all together, but you can also check out like your animal, not your animal, but like your crafting bench, your plant plots. This is your furniture tab where all your furniture items are going to be. This is for like decorations. This is for your walls, windows, fences, stuff like that. And then this is for your landscaping and also like your plants, as in like bushes, trees. As you see here, I have a bunch of landscaping, some rocks on here, and it shows you each bit of the weight. This is also the menu that's going to come up if you're trying to save your scheme and let's say you don't own one of the items. It's going to say that there's a problem decoration and it's going to be listed here. So you're going to be able to either claim it as in pay for the missing decoration. You can only pay for it in Astrolites if you own that sketch. If you don't own the sketch, you're not going to be able to purchase it. Or you can delete it. You can't delete it right from here. You would have to locate it. So I will give an example. All right, so for the example, I have a problem item on my island. I can't save it. And then when you're clicking problem decoration, you can see that I have two items here that I don't own at the moment. So I can either buy it for this astrolite here because I own the sketch, or I can locate the scene. So to locate it, you're going to select which one you want to locate. So I want to go ahead and locate this door. So I'm going to click on scene locate. And it's going to show me, see with this this chair here, it's going to tell me where it is. So I'm going to go up to it and then I am just going to simply delete it. I guess I delete the whole thing. But and then now if I go to save, you should be able to save with no problem since you have just deleted the item that you don't own. And so the last icon here is your save button. So it's pretty self-explanatory. If you press it, it's going to save your scheme. I haven't placed anything down that's different, but if I were to like copy and paste, I can go ahead and then now you can see that it's saving. I don't own this stuff here. I don't own enough of it, but if I did, then I would be able to save it, no problem. Yeah, so pretty self-explanatory, but just in case you're wondering where the save button is, if you don't click it, like don't worry, you can still save. If you exit out, it will the system will give you an option to save or don't save. So I'm not going to save, but yeah, those are the two options for when it comes to saving. I highly recommend to save as often as possible. Currently in the game, we don't have an undo button. This is something that they are adding in. So if you are watching in the future, it might already be in the game. But currently, as I'm recording this, we do not have an undo button. So I would just recommend saving as much as possible just to make sure that when you are building your house or your island, that if you do need to go back or if you had made a mistake, you're not starting from scratch, right? So save as much as possible just to save you in the long run. All right, so now we're going to get into our storage. So if you see down here in our quick menu, you're going to see the option with a little storage bin. So you're going to select that, and this is going to open up your storage menu. So basically we have the 6 different areas. The first area looks like a puzzle piece. This is for the preset house. Basically what this is for the house that came originally with the island. It doesn't include all of the it doesn't include the So it doesn't include the terraforming, it's just the house in general. And then we have preset furniture sets. You do have to own these. They do show it if you don't own it. But these are just little areas that are preset that you can use if you do own it. And then also preset smart brushes. So this is going to be for walls, for roofs, for fences that you are able to use. Next, we have our life function. So this is where all of your ability items are going to be. So let's say for planting, you need to place fields. This is where your fields are going to be so that you can plant your items. This is going to be where your ponds are. So if you need to put a pond down for your fish, that's where you're going to locate your ponds. The next tab here, this is where your crafting bench is going to be. Mine's already placed in the island, but this is where you're going to find it under life function. And then also for your animal lodges, this is where you're going to find the animal lodges. So it is the life function icon, and then you're going to go to the section that looks like a little dog house with a paw, and you're going to be able to place your animal lodges this way. So again, my 2 animal lodges, and there we are. Now they're on my island. The next tab here is where we have our interactive furniture. So this is stuff as like your beds. We have our tables and desks. We have our cabinets and bookshelves. Then we have our chairs and sofas. Then we have our lighting. So this is where our chandeliers are, our lamps, and so on. And then here we have our other items. So such as this newsstand, we have a storage rack, chandelier, coat stand, and any other items that would be considered other that don't necessarily fit into these tabs up here. Then we have our decorative furniture. So up here we have our like paintings. This is a window. We have banners. And then we have our carpets that we get. Curtains. Here are some dolls that you're gonna get. And then what's really important is that this is where your decorations are located from when you've pulled on different 5-star banners. So if you're wondering how to place these in your world, it's going to be under the flower icon, and you're going to go to the rocking horse here. So it's under decorative furniture casual, and this is where you can place things such as like our pure reverie item here. We can place like the balloons down somewhere. We can place this here. Mine's not really, there we go. And this is where all your decorations are going to be located. And then under decorative furniture, we also have the others. So this is stuff like just things that don't fit under these categories. So like books, tea sets, balloons, suitcases, a statue, umbrella, and so on. As you see here, I have also the star bottles that you get from friends here, a sign, just a bunch of miscellaneous items that just don't fit under the other decorative furniture tabs. And then we move into our structures. So this is going to be where you're going to build your house. So this is like your flooring, this is your walls, your doors, windows, fences, the roofs, and then we also have other items as well. So this is where you're going to find like the pillars, gazebo, some stairs here, more corner stairs, railings, pillars, a chimney, and then also this like random roof that we have here that just like didn't really fit into the other like options here. And then we have our last tab here, which is our landscape. So this is for potted plants. This is where your trees are, your water. So this is where like your water wheel is. This is where your rocks are. This is your terrain, and then the other as well. And then down here is quick build. So quick build is like your quick menu where you can place items here if you want to use them often. So, oh, wait, 1 second. So if you like, let's say you use the wall often, you can actually put it in your quick menu. Same with this one here. And if you use, like, let's say this here, just to make it easier for you while you're building, so you don't have to keep going back into your storage menu, you can just have it there, and you can press like 8 to place it down, or like 7. Obviously it's going to be different for PS5 or mobile when it comes to like the different numbers here, but it just makes it easier so you're not constantly having to press B and go back into that menu. It's just right there for you to use, so just making it really, really quick and easy. So for the construction ability, there are 2 different fusion abilities that you can unlock. We have the floating construction, which is unlocked at level 2. So during the floating construction, use floating platform to create a platform under Nikki for her to stand on. And then we also have floral construction. So this is unlocked at level 4. During floral construction, select floral path to create a path with Nikki's movement. So again, level 2 and level 4. So now I'm going to show you how to place down the star platforms here. So what you're going to do is you are going to have to go into the construction ability, press R, and then so you're going to press R to float. So see how I'm floating, and you're going to press T. And then again, you're going to press R to float, and then you're going to press T. I'll show it with a different ability on. 1 second here. So I put on the original floating ability just so you can see it a bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press R to float and then press T. So R to float. So ready, R to float, and then T, R to float, and then T. So R to float, T. And that's how you can place the platforms down. And then I'm going to show you how to use the other fusion. So for this one, you're going to press R, and you're going to be able to immediately start floating around. As you see here, I'm able to move. Your direction is based off of where you're pointing your mouse. So if I want to go upwards, I'm going to point the mouse up. If I want to go down, point the mouse down, side. You do also have the ability of putting down like kind of like a platform for this as well. So I'm going to press T, and then I get to generate a floral path. So you generate it by just moving. So if I turn around, you're going to see that there's a path following me. And what I can do is now I have a path that I can walk on. So I'm going to go over the dyeing. So currently we're on the crafting table under the dye section. And what dyeing is, it's how you're going to color furniture and structures. So how you obtain it is you can craft the rainbow paint. So as you see here, you're going to use flowers to create the dye. I currently don't have enough here, but if I did, it would say craft, and then you can craft and it'll go into your crafting queue. And then currently the craft quantity per batch is 2, but as you level up, you'll be able to increase this, and then also you'll be able to unlock other flowers and other types of paint licenses that will allow you to dye different structures. So this one is very basic. It only allows you to dye certain things like fences. You can dye like your bed, rugs, a chair. But if you want to dye, let's say your walls, you're going to need the next painting license, and that comes from leveling up. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to dye an item, and actually we want to go upstairs. All right, so let's say you want to dye this rug, right? So you're going to click edit, and you're going to press the dye button, and as you see here, I've already unlocked red, so I'm just going to unlock green. And I have 30 out of 30, so I'm just going to go ahead and unlock that. And then there we are. You're able to use it whenever. So I'm going to say green. I'm going to say save dye. And then if I lift it up so you can see it, there we are. Perfect. One other thing I want to show you is, let's say I want to dye this chair. So I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to press dye, and I want to dye it this beautiful brown color. I don't have any paint cans. Well, you can exchange them for Astrolite. I don't have enough Astrolite to get 60, which is a lot. But as you see here, you can get one paint can for 500 Astrolite. So that means 2 is 1,000. Based off my calculations, from what I understand, this is a better rate compared to crafting them at the craft table, because so for seeds, you spend 100 Astrolite for one of those seeds that grow the flowers that you need. I forget the name of them, but those like tulip looking flowers. So that means one seed equals 100 Astrolites. You need 24 flowers in total to be able to even craft the paint cans. So 24 flowers would mean 2,400 Astrolites, and so that means it'd be 2,400 Astrolites for 2 paint cans versus 1,000. And then you also don't have to waste your flowers on paint. So I think this is better based off of what I have looked into. Obviously, I only have the first level. I don't have the other levels of paint cans, so I don't know the difference in pricing or the exchange rate there. But from just starting out, this seems like a better option in my opinion. You can do whichever you feel is best for you, but this is how I would do it personally, based off of what I have noticed. And that is everything for the dyeing. Just so that we can go over it once more, it is once it's unlocked, you do have that forever. So like, let's say I buy another rug and I want to dye it. It has to be this specific rug. Of course, it can't just be like any different rug, but let's say I buy this exact rug again. I would be able to dye it with these 2 dyes. They will be unlocked for me because I've already purchased it. I know there was a lot of people that were a bit confused, thinking that you have to, like, let's say you want to dye this piece of wall. They thought that you had to unlock it for every single piece, which would have been absolutely insane. It's already very expensive. Like, I'm not going to say it's not expensive at all, but once you have the dye unlocked for this type of item, every time you use this specific piece, you will have it unlocked no matter what. Like, I can show you actually a good example here. I can quickly copy this. So let's say I copy this rug and I want to place it. So now I have another copy of it, right? And then I want to edit, but I want to dye it red. See, it's still unlocked for me, even though it's a different rug. All right, so now I'm going to go over how you can get furniture sketches and how to craft furniture. So there are a few different ways of collecting furniture sketches. The first way is through upgrading, well, all of it's through upgrading your abilities. So if you see here, go to abilities, we have the decor catalog, but then we also have our wish-filled volumes. So to get to the decor catalog first, you're going to go speak with Posy and go to Yardling Shop. So Yardling Shop, you're going to see at the side, there's a bunch of different catalogs that will be unlocked as you level up. So see here, I don't have construction level 9, so I don't have the cozy home decor just yet. Same with the geometric blocks. I do not have these as of yet. These will be unlocked at level 9 and level 10. And then what you can do once you have it unlocked, you can just go in and you can purchase these sketches with Astrolites. Another way is through what's called the wish-filled volumes. So as you see here, we have wish-filled volume 1, 2, 3, 4. And so these are unlocked as, again, you level up your construction ability, and then how you use them. Once you have it unlocked, you're going to go to Mirrorland and go to your photos. And you're going to see this icon here that looks like books with a lamp on it. So you're going to see your wish filled volumes here, and it's going to show you how many different items you're going to be looking for. So currently we are in wish fields, and I have an item that has popped up. So as you're walking, you're going to see if it will pop up for me again, where it says decor catalog, and it tells me what it is. So it's the floral sign. So it's the sign right about here. You're going to go into your camera again, and it's going to say floral sign, decor catalog, and you take a picture of it. And then here now you have the sketch for the floral sign. And then you can actually just delete the photo once you're done, so you're just not clogging up your camera roll with a bunch of photos of random things around Mirrorland. And now when you go back to your island, you can go to your crafting bench. And this is where all your sketches are going to be located. So this is all of them. And then there are different tabs depending on what you're looking for. So if you're looking for like furniture items, if you're looking for decorations, if you're looking for like walls, structure materials, and if you're looking for things such as like flowers, terrain, and so on. You can find them all listed here, and then the system will tell you how many materials or what type of materials you need to craft that item, as well as how long it's going to take to craft it. You will also see that there is a quantity per batch. For this bookshelf here, I only get one, whereas if I'm crafting like this brick foundation, I'm going to get 6. So always keep a lookout for that, because sometimes you get more than one. Like for this window, I get 3 of them for crafting it. This one I only get 1. This is 6, 1, and yeah, so just keep an eye out for that. And then we also have, like I showed earlier, this is where your paints are, and then this is for your other materials, such as like, as you see, your fragrant fish foods. This is where you can craft the different fish foods or dews. And then I will show you, so let's look for that sign that we had just received. So it should be under here. You can also search. So I'm going to search for this, and here's our floral sign. I don't have enough of the flowers for it, so what you can actually do is you can replenish your materials and spend astrolite to replenish it. It is a little costly, so if you are running low on astrolites, I don't really recommend it, but the option is there. So I'm going to just do it for the sake of showing you how to create this item. I'm going to go ahead and craft it. It does take 30 minutes. I'm going to accelerate that. So to accelerate it, use 2 astrolites to speed up by 1 minute. So it's 30 minutes. If I want to speed it up, I am going to need 60 astrolites. So I'm going to press confirm, and I'm going to collect it. And then now I have my floral sign. And then let's go ahead and place our floral sign in the world. So I'm going to go and look for it. It should be under decorations. Let's see, there we are. It's under decorative furniture wall items. I can go ahead and place it on my wall. My settings are a little bit weird from when I was showing the different settings there, but I can go ahead and place it on my wall here, and there we are. Or if I want to, like, let's say rotate it, I can go ahead and rotate it like I showed earlier. Or if I want to scale it up, we can go ahead and do that. Or if I want to make it smaller, we could always make it super, super tiny. And there we are. Now we have our floral sign on our wall. Another way you can get furniture is through the Dreamland Chronicles. I'm not going to go in super in depth about the Dreamland Chronicles, but basically as you do different tasks weekly, you get what's called Dreamland stones, and the Dreamland stones can be used at the Dreamland store. So I only have 20 at the moment, but as you see, if I had 240, I can buy this desk, or I can buy these filing cabinets, disguised coat stand, the sofa. So these these are just the furniture items. It's not the actual sketch of the furniture. So let's say you want to have 2 of the sofas, you will have to buy it twice. So it's going to be 600 of the Dreamland stones. So you get Dreamland stones by completing these weekly tasks. So weekly Dreamland stones, you can get up to 2,000. And then if you have the Dreamland Pact, which is a paid for pact, you can get another 2,000. So altogether, you'll get up to 4,000 of the stones that you can use towards these items. And if you see here, there is a timer. So that means in 15 days, this will be changed. So these will no longer be available, but then we could have other furniture items that you can use your Dreamland stones on. If you want to get something and you don't have any Dreamland stones, you can always purchase them with diamonds. So if you see up here, there is this little plus button. So 10 diamonds equals 50 stones. I personally don't want to do it, but if you're running out of time, if it's like the last day and you really want this like detective bear doll, it is an option for you to do. That's totally up to you what you do with your diamonds. This is just an option that is available in the game if you would like to get more stones before it runs out. But keep in mind, you are getting 2,000 per week just for playing the game. This is without the Dreamland Pact. So this is without paying for anything. You're just getting 2,000 per week, which gives you a bunch of stones to be able to collect basically everything that is here. Like, I've collected a bunch of them multiple times. I do have the pact, so that does give me a bit more, but you do have the option of getting a bunch of different furniture items this way. All right, guys, well, that is everything for this video. I know it was a really long one. I wanted to make sure that I went through everything and showed step by step of how I'm able to get to that point so that you can see a clear vision of what to do when you are constructing your home or your building for your island, to try to make it a bit easier. If there is anything at all that I have missed, please let me know, and I will do my best to, get another guide out or respond to you in the comments. But as of for today, that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did like it, please give it a like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!